That's an aggressive ass song for this movie.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god.
I know.
This is just
honey. That's when white people started running out the theater.
no. It's a revolt.
Hidden Figures. Yeah, you know. People are always talking about, man, you know, you read history. There was so many black men behind things that no one tells you about. The history books don't say it. History books are lying to us practically by omission. And that's cool and everything, but then, there's some people say, yo, okay, that's cool, but nobody ever talks about the black women who are out there doing it.
It's about time they got their due.
It's about time they got their due. And some of them were smarter than most black men out there.
That's most men, period.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we had. My mom had a plaque up in her house one day that said behind every successful man is a woman, telling his ass that he's ignorant.
Nagging him.
Yeah, you dumb motherfucker. Yeah, tell him about
That's
me.
all you got.
Yeah, you tell him about me. You better tell that bitch to go.
I know.
But with this, you have three women, man. Katherine Johnson, Dorothy Vaughan, and Mary Jackson. They were computers at NASA. That's what they call human beings before they actually had the machines that we know. They had black people that they call computers. Human beings they call computers. And these women actually want to move up to be engineers and a bigger part of the team of trying to send John Glenn into outer space. And for years, it's funny, you know how it is. One of them stories where, you know, nobody would be in space right now. Or probably would have been. It would have taken longer had it not been for these women. But hey, in 2016, now that half of them gone, it's like, oh, we got you now. Let's put your name up on the bathroom door. You know, now they're getting their due. Some people say, hey, maybe it's a little too late. They're not here to appreciate it as much as they could back in the day. But we are all getting something, and just knowing that these people are responsible for that. And on the surface, this film, on the surface, this film was like, it looks like your average crowd pleasing movie. You know, it's one of those movies where it's predictable. It's also kind of it has a very predictable emotional beats, but at the same, and it's manipulative, but at the same time, you know, it's light and it's feel good, so we accept it. It's okay. We sometimes we want that kind of comfort from a film, and it's also very light when it comes to racial inequality of that time. You know, ain't nobody getting their ass whooped. You know, no, I don't think they use that. Nobody's getting called a nigga in this movie.
Now hold on, they showed a crowd of demonstrators, and they were just about to get their ass whooped. And the camera cut away.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, they actually had a dog about to rip a motherfucker apart. He's like, and he was like, next time.
I'm gonna get you.
Like, not today. Nah, you were lucky today.
This ain't that movie. But who if it was? You and Selma.
Yeah. Shit, I had a dog about to bite a Negro leg like. Lunch break. Yeah, it's that movie. Yeah. You know, they got it to where the Negroes in the theater, they ain't really mad, and the white people, they feel comfortable. You know, they're not scared or anything.
This is in Texas, right?
It's the South. Yeah, I think it's NASA, so that would be in Houston. Yeah. So
Galveston, really.
Yeah. So you know, the two key words for this film are safe and profitable, but there are some key things in this film for me. Martin, you saw this with me. I don't know if you agree. There are parts in this movie where they bring people into the room. They have people, and they're trying to solve these equations. We are sending a man into space. This is life and death. This is history. And they worried about segregation. They worried about skin color. They actually have moments in here where they have to solve vital equations, and they're sitting up there like they can't do it. And then they got one black person over there. They tell them, they say, well, she knows how to do this. And they're like, yeah, that would really be helpful, but no colors allowed in here. You know?
And she's got that pesky vagina.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And you're a woman too. But really, it really was about. But this is a non-colored zone right here. You know, and they're so worried about color right down to the point where while they could be solving big equations, they're worried about the coffee cup over there not having a colored only label on it. They don't want to share coffee with that. They don't want them Negro fingers on my coffee. You know, it's insane. And the first half of the movie is frustrating. Because as much as they need all these people to be working together, they always use an excuse. That's just the way it is. Even though you have somebody like Taraji P. Henson, who in the movie, she is Katherine Johnson, and they spend most of the time wasting time, all because they don't want to bring her into the room. And when they do finally bring her into the room, they're reprimanding her for doing things that she shouldn't be doing, even though she had to do those things to do her job. And you watch this, and it's mostly about male egos, white egos, bullshit, red tape at a job, politics. And you just watch this and look at what they're putting this poor woman through, to the point where she has to go a half a mile to use the bathroom, walk so far that she has to take her work with her, you know, taking a shit while trying to solve equations. And you just look at this and you're like, wow, if people could just work together, we could accomplish so much.
Support orbital flight. That's classified information. It's top secret.
Well, it's no secret why.
Somebody just backslapped that guy. I'm gonna fucking ask you, man.
It's top secret.
Yeah. You heard secret. You heard the boss. It's top secret.
Shut your ass up. Should have just back kicked his ass.
Are you a spy, Catherine?
Am I what?
I said, are you a Russian spy?
No, sir. I'm not Russian.
She's not Russian, sir.
Yeah, I can see that.
He looked at her like, bitch, get the fuck out. Correcting me in front of these people like this. He's Al Harris, Kevin Costner in the movie. He's the head engineer of this department. What was the name of the department, man? It was like the Space Task Group. Or the Space Task Force. They sound like like Voltron or some shit. It actually had a cool ass name what they were doing. And you know something, Kevin Costner. I know Kevin Costner. Sometimes he gets a bad rap for being really deadpan, but in this
it works here.
But here it works, man. Like it's Kevin Costner really works when he puts those glasses on and that tie, when he looks like America's math teacher.
And he goes back to the 60s.
He goes back to the 60s. Like he's that high school math teacher that exists today, but never with their style escaped the 50s.
I'm waiting for somebody to say, weren't you representing that JFK trial? You're supposed to be doing that.
Hey, Corey, yes, he was.
That's him.
He's got the same fucking outfit from JFK that he's wearing in this movie right here. Same pen in his pocket and everything. Yeah, it's almost like his acting powers in those glasses and that tie. You know?
They didn't have him in Superman. That's why he got sucked into that tornado.
Exactly. If he had worn those glasses and that tie, he'd still be alive today. I'll tell you another thing that they did that's really cool in this movie. Another thing that they avoided that could have been a huge cliche. This is 1961 that this happens. And they could have gone back and did the old cliche of taking every R&B song from that time, because there's Negroes in this movie. They would have taken every R&B song from the time and just played it. It's all the music that we hear in all these movies that are in that period.
Sure.
But here, they didn't do that. I don't even think there's one old song in here. Most of it that's done that sounds like it's from that period is done by Pharrell Williams. And when you watch it, I mean, it really makes the movie have its own personality because the movie, the music is original to this film.
That's an aggressive ass song for this movie.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God.
I know.
Never. This is just
honey. That's when white people started running out the theater.
no. It's a revolt.
Petey, come back. So they saw all them black women walking down the hallway. Shit, some black dudes left too. Oh shit, somebody told them. Told them what? I don't know, but my woman mad. But it makes the movie. Hans Zimmer does the score. Pharrell does the soundtrack, and they work well together because they know when to come in at the right time. And like I said, it does help that, you know, it could have made this feel like any other kind of period piece out there, but they chose to make original music that is tailored to fit this time. I admired that because the music is cool. I have never wanted to buy a soundtrack as much as, you know, in a few years, as much as I wanted to get this one right
Can't
here.
wait to get that Kim Burrell song. Huh?
No, fuck that. You know, I hate homos, faggots. Woo! But yeah, that's all I wanted for. I wanted for that woo in there. Woo! You know, it's I really enjoyed how the movie went out its way to rise above what would have been just a studio crowd-pleasing movie. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I don't know if you feel that way, but and you didn't see this, did you?
No.
I mean, and this is where I like to see, because you giving me your poker face right now. I can't tell if you like this as much as I do, or if you like it, or if you like it less.
Oh, well, you're absolutely right about the music and what it does to rise up to rise above what it seems like just a studio film. Definitely, you can see in the trailers how well they nail just the look of the piece, the production design and all. It's very 60s and it looks very accurate, and you certainly appreciate that. And it is, it's designed to be a crowd pleasing movie, and it's mostly designed to be inspirational. I mean, it's designed to be inspirational to the point where it dares you to say something bad about it, despite the fact that it does not rise above what it being that overly sentimental, sappy studio movie, and it's just very Nerf on all this stuff it brings up.
How dare you call this
I'm sorry,
Nerf?
man. I do not love this movie like you do. It's like I want to, because there's a lot there. The actors are, you really like the actors. It's one of those movies where you really like the actors. Mm-hmm. They're very charming, each and every one of them. And what they do with the characters, you like, but there's just no getting around how predictable and almost TV made the script is here, and it's just like,
Dare
man,
you, sir?
I'm sorry, dude. I
knew it. You sitting there, you were quiet.
A person could even hear in the way you were describing it, like you were trying so hard to like find all these reasons.
No, I ain't trying hard. I feel this
is.
way. I feel this way.
I'm sorry.
I was inspired by this movie. I feel this. I ain't trying to do shit. I told y'all it was predictable.
We saw it. They were clapping in a bunch of points, and I was like, yeah, it was. This movie was designed by a committee to make you clap here, to make you clap here. And
yes,
and even when it starts with based on true events, I was like, are you telling me that this is going to be bullshit? And the more I watch, I'm like, yeah, y'all are dramatizing a lot of this.
But
I got the feeling like these three women probably worked in the same place, but might not have even been friends. But they pushed them together for this. And if they could have focused on maybe two of them and made a really serious story, or maybe it just wasn't it. It's the fact that these black women were very smart and competent and achieved much on their own in this time of segregation. That's the story, but they just pumped a lot of drama in here that's left over from a bunch of TV movies, and I was like, man, I want this to be so much better than it is. And I kept hoping like there'll be that point when it'll kick in, and it will be. And there's a point where you just realize, no, it's not. It's a movie for your mom to watch.
And I'm not disagreeing with anything that you're saying. I agree with you on everything that you're saying, except the part where you say you didn't like it. I disagree with. I mean, I agree with everything you're saying, except saying that, it's predictable to the point of being, how dare you use the word Nerf?
We talked about you talked about how nobody got their ass beat. Every time it started to get a little dangerous, the camera would cut away.
I don't think. See, here's the deal. I think it's okay when a movie does that, when it's self-aware that it's doing that. There's nothing wrong with trying to be a crowd-pleasing movie when it's also trying to accomplish something else. And that something else is to be as inspiring as it is. And as I say, those things that I told you about that lifted above the cliche of the average movie, that's what makes this rise above those films. And there are things here where you know what you're getting into just by the actors that you have, just by the characters that they play. I mean, we know Martin is right. They have the three women in here. Does it feel like maybe they knew each other? No, it's definitely times where they have the labels. That's the sassy one. Uh-huh. That's the shy one. Uh-huh. the brainy one, and then we have the responsible one and the angry one. You know that they all have their own way. But these women, again, there's nothing wrong with that when they give enjoyable performances, great performances like you see here. When you have Taraji P. Henson, who is still continuing to show the range that she has.
Sure.
I mean, which she shows in this movie. She's both the character from Hustle and Flow and Cookie from Empire. Because there's a moment that she's real meek and quiet until she's like, you know what, I'm tired of this bullshit. You know, and I appreciate that.
I do too, but at the same time, okay, so Jim Parsons and
what's up? No, go
Jim
ahead.
Parsons and Kirsten Dunst have thankless roles because they just play the two-dimensional prejudice people. And every racial conflict is solved by one of the women or Kevin Costner speechifying and telling somebody off. And then everybody goes, oh, and they move on to the next thing.
Yeah, but you know what? Still, I look at I'll tell you the thing that surprised Octavia Spencer continues to show how she's suited for dramatic roles. Janelle Monáe was the one that was the real surprise here.
Even after Moonlight?
What's that?
Yeah, after
Even after
Moonlight, I
Moonlight?
was
Surprised in how she continues to just command the screen when she comes on.
Okay.
She's the sassy one here, and
I was mostly surprised by how tiny she is.
and she's almost cute. And these three women together, I mean, well, adorable in her size. And these,
I'm about to say, what, she fine as fuck?
I know,
Like,
she is. I almost slapped myself. Motherfucker, you better cake that up, son. Talk about one woman like that. I'm sorry. Start to gallop myself. You know she fine. I know, but these three together, they're a joy to watch. I'm really enjoying this Mahershala Ali. You know, I'm really beginning to like that guy a lot. The more roles I see him, man, it's great to see that he's risen above just being the black dude from the Hunger Games. You know,
You're the only one of our members
You really are. I completely forget he's in that.
I know.
My first thought is not Game of Thrones.
House of Cards.
Yeah.
Don't watch that.
Oh, Remy. Yeah, I watched the Hunger Games recently. I was like, oh yeah, he is in this.
Yeah, you know, I'm beginning to like that guy a lot. But I tell you, there were certain parts of the movie where, like you said, man, I enjoyed the design. I enjoyed the art direction of this. I enjoyed the set design, especially because, man, looking at this really showed you how these people, when they went into this stuff to go into outer space, they were sending dudes in trash cans in outer space, man.
Oh yeah, no. If anything, outside of stuff I complained about, just looking at the movie, what was going on, it gave me a whole lot of respect for John Glenn. Because it's like, man, he's getting up there in this shit, and they don't have this worked out like you think they do.
They put this shit together with tinfoil, man.
Yeah.
You know.
He bravely got in there and did it. You're like, God damn, dude.
Yeah.
My hat's off to you.
Yeah. Shit like the Tin Man's hat that they sent them up in there. You know, it really showed to me how dangerous this mission was and how it made the segregation part even more frustrating because you saw what people could do with some scraps from Hobby Lobby, man, sending these people up into space. Mm-hmm. I tell you, we're on two different pages right here, man, with this movie. And we're kind of, we're not exactly. Mm-hmm. You're not on mine. No. As much as I want to kick you off, we are on the same page, man. Because we agree on one thing here, and that is that this is predictable, that this is a studio film. But where we disagree is that where you don't appreciate that, and rightfully you shouldn't, I make an exception here because they do just slightly more to make it so much more effective than those studio films that we see before. And I don't think that there's anything wrong with having a movie like this. We call them feel-good movies for a reason because they are made to help us feel good, and not just feel good, but also help us feel inspired. The biggest thing with this film, for me, is sitting in a room, and maybe this is the biggest influence on me on what I would give this, sitting in a room full of young girls, man, of every race, who you could feel the inspiration from this movie with them. You could see how excited they were. And I know I always make fun of it, but there were two Asian girls sitting next to me, and I know they couldn't speak English because they were talking through the whole thing.
Oh, they're already good at math.
Yeah, exactly. I think they were talking about, wow, black people are good at math too. You know, they weren't talking any English or anything, man. They were sitting over there talking a different language, and even they were like getting the vibe from it. I'm not even lying about that. You know, it's
They probably spoke English. They were just choosing to speak their own language to each other.
they're probably talking shit. Negroes know math? This is science fiction. You know? When does Godzilla pop up? You know?
Took it all the way.
I know. You started this. I took this motherfucker into space. But man, you know, the women and the little girls and the teenagers in the theater, they were really into this, man. I saw how effective this movie was. And it's hard not to be swept up in it. I have nothing against a movie. Just like we talk about an action film sometimes, like, well, it's just there to entertain. It's a dumb comedy. It's just there to make me laugh. This movie is here to make you not only feel good, not only have a good time, but to actually come out and feel something that we can actually do more as people.
Did you feel something for the movie or the crowd?
I felt something for the movie because before that even happened, I was like, man, it made me want to be a father and have a little girl that I could take to this movie. I wanted to pick up by her hair and bring a little skanky ass into this movie and say,
Yeah, you watch this
yeah,
shit.
Yeah, you want
Stop running them streets.
Exactly. Now, you want to be a hoe or you want to do something with your life? Look at this right here.
Can I be both?
Yeah. I mean, shit, when I'm getting that whole money, I got to learn how to count it anyway, right? Yeah. I got to learn how to operate my whole finances. Such your ass drunk. No, man, I give this a full price. Enjoyed it.
Oh, okay.
Enjoyed it, man. What about you?
Oh, okay.
No, it's such a disappointment.
Because I actually thought, you know, we might end up being on the same page because everything you said about it being inspirational, I do take that into account. It makes me give it a higher rating than I would. I mean, just as a movie itself, I'm not that impressed with it. There's just too much that went on. I mean, when I think about these kind of movies where 42 is here and race is lower than that, this is even lower than that as far as, you know, delivering on these goods, because it's a feel good movie, but there's not that much to balance it against that they have to overcome, and it should feel like that, but it didn't because everything kept just falling into place. It's a low matinee for me. I could never go full price on it.
Okay.
I mean, God, I watch you not give things full price for so many flaws, but you want to give this a pass, that's fine.
I'm not giving this a pass. I told you why. I don't think that it's right there with like the movie that's out there to make money. It is not. They really are telling a story that needs to be told, and I think they told it well. And for the crowd that they know are going to see this, they tailored it for that crowd.
They did.
And there's nothing wrong with that. You know, I know you think I'm giving it a pass. Young women out there, don't let Martin dash your dreams.
I think all young women should go see this movie.
They should, and don't let Martin do this to you. And black people, don't let this room be an example. This is why we can't have nothing. But you know, I want.
Even if you like the end was too much, like it was done, and they go like, "Oh wait, let's give you another 10 to 15 minutes."
Got a stinger.
Yeah, Spider-Man came out.
Black Panther shows up.
You know, this is
It's okay. It's all right, man.
No, man.
It's good. You already said it.
I'm frustrated.
Like we got when we saw Eddie the Eagle. Like you feel like it was a little bit more inspirational, so it kind of influenced your rating. There's not wrong with that.
You trying to talk shit too? I know what you're doing.
What the fuck is happening?
I read between the lines.
Okay.
Yeah, hold the paper up to the light.
Artist.
You're not gonna ruin my dream. I get my sex change to go to space. You ain't gonna ruin my dreams. This shit
Like Corey.
felt good. I was happy with it. Gamefly brings to your house, to you, over 8,000 new releases and classics that are available to rent, or you can buy them for almost every system out there, current and some old systems. Like I said, man, I've been trying to put my GameCube back to work for years. Gamefly is giving me an excuse to do that. And you can even try 30 days for free by typing in gameflyoffer.com/double toasted. And when you do that, you'll get 30 days for free of games and movies. Get all those things, all of them at once. Just stay in the house. Don't go nowhere because they're all going to get brought right to your mailbox. You can also bring the element of surprise every month to your home in the form of a Loot Crate mystery box. In that box, I can't tell you what it is, but I can guarantee you it is the best in geek and gaming gear. Some people say it's like having Comic-Con brought right to your home. You don't have to leave the house for nothing. You're getting all kind of stuff. And everybody likes a little surprise every month, just a little bit. And here's another surprise for you. You know, if you go to our link, trylootcrate.com/double toasted, and you type in bridge 10, that's the word bridge and the number 10, you can get 10% off, a 10% discount on your first crate. How's that for a surprise right there? Loot Crate, bring the mystery and the surprise to your mailbox once a month with Loot Crate. Hey everyone, thanks for watching, and be sure to subscribe to our channel and go over to our home, doubletoasted.com, for more videos and live streams. And remember, stay toasty.